1991. The Soviet Union is gone. Azerbaijan wakes up to independence and immediately faces a simple but enormous question. You have a flag, you have a government, you have borders. But you are still using the currency of a country that no longer exists. Every salary, every transaction, every price in every market is still denominated in Soviet rubles. That is not independence. That is just a change of name. Work on a national currency began almost immediately. At the end of 1991, a competition was announced for the design of the new banknotes. Artists and designers submitted proposals while the Karabakh War was burning in the background, while factories were shutting down, while basic goods were disappearing from shelves. The work continued anyway, because the people in charge understood that a currency was not just an economic instrument. It was a statement. It was evidence that the country was real. On August 15, 1992, the Azerbaijani Manat entered circulation for the first time. The first banknotes had been printed in France, because Azerbaijan did not yet have the facilities to produce its own. The Manat replaced the Soviet ruble at a rate of 10 rubles to 1 Manat. For ordinary people, it was a strange feeling. New notes, new symbols, a new name on the money in their hands. But the transition was not clean. Until January 1994, the Manat circulated alongside Soviet and Russian rubles. Two currencies in the same economy at the same time. Markets were chaotic, prices were unstable, and people did not always know which money to trust. On November 22, 1993, the government began withdrawing the old rubles from circulation. From January 1, 1994, the Manat became the only legal currency in the country. The old money was gone. What followed was brutal. Between 1991 and 1995, real wages fell by more than 8 times. Hyperinflation was destroying purchasing power month after month. Banknotes climbed to denominations of 10,000, 50,000 manats. People carried bags of cash to buy basic groceries. The zeros kept multiplying while the actual value kept shrinking. It looked, for a while, like the currency might not survive in any meaningful form. The turning point came from beneath the Caspian Sea. Azerbaijan had always known it was sitting on oil, but the largest offshore reserves had only been surveyed during Soviet times and never developed. In 1994, the government signed what became known as the contract of the century with a consortium of international oil companies. Investment began flowing in. Revenue followed. The economy stabilized. The Manat stopped falling. By the mid-2000s, the country was ready for a serious reform. On January 1, 2006, a denomination was carried out at a ratio of 5,000 to 1. 5,000 old Manats became one new Manat. The zeros were finally gone. The new banknotes were designed by Austrian designer Robert Kaliner, the same man who created the design of the euro. One new Manat equaled 100 capiks. Clean, simple, modern. After the reform, something happened that no government can simply order. People began to trust the currency. They started saving in Manats instead of converting immediately to dollars or euros. Bank deposits in Manats grew steadily year after year. In countries that have lived through hyperinflation, rebuilding that kind of trust can take a generation. In Azerbaijan, it happened within a decade. The Manat is now more than 30 years old. It was born in chaos, survived war and economic collapse, was redesigned and rebuilt. It began as a piece of paper printed in France because there was no other option. Today, it is the currency of a functioning sovereign economy. That is not just an economic story. It is the story of a country learning, slowly and painfully, to stand on its own.